For many, the term dark psychology can be intimidating and mysterious. To simplify, dark psychology is the use of psychological techniques for selfish and often harmful reasons. It is used to manipulate and influence people's thoughts, behavior, and emotions. It can be used in any situation where someone wants to influence or manipulate another person. Some people may use dark psychology to gain an advantage over another person or to manipulate their feelings. Unfortunately, dark psychology tricks are used in everyday life to take advantage of unsuspecting individuals. This video will discuss 7 dark psychology tricks to watch out, used in everyday life, and what you can do to protect yourself from them. Number 1. Mirroring. Mirroring is one of the most commonly used dark psychology tricks to manipulate a person. It involves mimicking the body language of another person in order to gain their trust and build a more intimate connection with them. The person using dark psychology to manipulate the other person will use subtle cues, such as the way they hold their arms crossed, tilt their head, and even the pitch and speed of their voice. This creates an almost subconscious bond between the two people and can be used to sway a person's opinion or decisions in the manipulator's favor. It's important to be aware of this tactic so you can spot when someone is trying to manipulate you with dark psychology. If you find yourself being mirrored, it's best to maintain a level of awareness and be careful of any of the other dark psychology tricks that may follow. Number 2. Cold reading. Cold reading is a dark psychological technique used to give someone the perception that you can predict their thoughts, feelings, desires, or behaviors. The trick uses a person's own body language, the type of clothes they wear, their facial expressions and mannerism to make accurate guesses about their current situation. This trick might be used to give persons the perception that you possess psychic powers. Cold reading is an extremely effective hypnotic trick and is used by con artists and scam artists to manipulate people into believing something that is not true. This technique might include techniques such as leading questions and statements, making assumptions, and redirecting the conversation when needed. It is essential to remember that the more credible you appear to be, the easier it becomes to manipulate someone. So, if you ever come across someone using cold reading, beware. Number 3. Foot in the door technique. The foot in the door technique is one of the more well-known dark psychology tricks. It is an effective trick used to get someone to agree to a small request to then manipulate them into a larger one. This usually involves the manipulator making a seemingly innocuous request as a way to get the person to comply. Once this is established, the manipulator then moves on to making a larger request that the target is more likely to agree to since they have already agreed to the smaller request. This psychological technique takes advantage of the inertia effect, which is the idea that once a person starts doing something, they are more likely to keep going. This trick could be used in various areas and situations such as sales, recruiting, fundraising, and marketing. As such, it is important to be aware of this psychological tactic and to not let oneself be taken advantage of. Number 4. Door in the face. Door in the face is one of the dark psychology tricks that can be used to manipulate people, often yielding powerful results. This technique starts with making an initial request that is very difficult or costly for the other person, often knowing they will say no. After being rejected for this request, the manipulator comes back with a second, more reasonable request. This second request often appears more attractive in comparison to the initial request, and as a result, the person feels more willing and likely to accept the second request of the manipulator. The manipulative process happens without the person being aware of the manipulator's strategy. It's important to be cautious when someone attempts to use the door-in-the-face trick on you. Be aware of their tactics and remember that it is their attempt to manipulate you into doing something. Number 5. Ultimate Yes Technique. The ultimate yes technique is a dark psychology trick used to manipulate people into agreeing with any offer presented to them. It involves the user subtly changing the way they phrase their request to make it more appealing to the listener. By purposefully constructing their words and phrasing so that the listener finds it difficult to disagree or say no. The manipulator puts themselves in a position of power. The trick relies on the user being able to make the listener feel like they are being unreasonable and foolish if they don't agree to the offer being made. For example, the manipulator might phrase the offer as an ultimatum, such as, "If you don't do this, then you won't get what you want." This makes it harder for the listener to reject the offer, as it implies that they will lose something if they don't agree. You must be aware of these dark psychology tricks to resist malicious intentions. Number 6. Persuasion through association. Persuasion through association is a dark psychology trick that relies on an individual's ability to be influenced by others. It involves surrounding someone with other people who believe in a certain point of view or value system and having the person absorb that opinion. This intentionally entices one to accept a certain point of view by associating it with an increased sense of belonging and social validation. It works by making the person feel included in a group where you think that everyone else gets it but you. This sneaky trick is often used in marketing or advertising to sway people's decisions. It is a common tactic to modify people's perceptions and behavior. This dark psychology trick is dangerous because it subtly influences people to make decisions based on the values of the group instead of their own logic and reasoning. Number 7. Cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance is a psychological concept that describes the uncomfortable feelings that people experience when they hold conflicting beliefs, opinions, or values. It is the experience of believing two conflicting things at the same time and can lead to feelings of confusion and discomfort. This phenomenon can occur when people find themselves in situations where they must choose between two desirable options or two undesirable options. For example, an individual may believe that they should not eat fast food, but they might still choose to eat it occasionally. The cognitive dissonance created by this situation may lead to feelings of guilt or regret. The discomfort caused by cognitive dissonance may lead people to try to rationalize their decisions in order to reduce the unpleasantness. It is important to be aware of cognitive dissonance and the effects it can have on your decision-making process so that you can effectively manage it. The dark psychology tricks presented in the video are used to influence and manipulate someone without their knowledge. It is important to be aware of such mind-hacking techniques' usage in order to resist them or rise up against them. It is necessary to recognize the potential danger associated with using such tricks to manipulate people and to be aware of the key strategies used by manipulators. Hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell icon to stay tuned to such factful content. Thanks for watching.